Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, today, got to talk about the big fast food giant McDonald's accepts Bitcoin. Who is next? And overall, markets are looking pretty darn good today. Just like yesterday, Bitcoin just broke above 20,000. Let's see where it can go. All right, let's get started. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and make sure you follow my other channels as well. Good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get started. We have about 5 minutes until the market bell rings. You can see the futures market for the U.S. looking pretty darn good. Especially NASDAQ, almost up 2%. So this is continuing off of yesterday. Everything went up. And Bitcoin had Bitcoin crypto had a little upward movement, but today it looks like it wants to continue. Now, there are several big things going on today other than McDonald's. So let's talk about them first. I did cover this story last night. Seems to go really unnoticed. Not a lot of people talking about it, but this is a pretty big thing when the UN tells the Fed, tells Powell, and tells central banks around the world to cool it with their rate hikes. This could actually, could affect our next FOMC meeting that's coming up next month, because it's pretty much set in stone. It's supposed to be 75 basis points, but maybe Powell becomes a little bit more dovish and says, okay, let's go down to 50 basis points or something like that. Maybe short term, this will have an effect, right? So I would say overall, it's positive for markets. Short term, long term, probably not positive for inflation, although who knows? Maybe inflation does come down by itself just with supply chain issues being resolved, right? So I don't know, but this is a big deal. But I think a lot of people are not really paying attention, mostly because they think the U.S. and Europe is not going to be listening. But hey, they may be. What else is there? Well, looking at the mortgage crisis, I guess. In the U.S., a lot of people are fearing that there will be another housing bubble, although I created a video talking about I don't think it's going to happen because too many people have their low rates locked in. They are not looking to leave, and overall, the economy is not that broke yet. Powell did not make people that broke yet, so maybe later on, but right now, not so much. But there is fear in Britain right now due to the same thing, whether or not people can really afford to keep paying their mortgage. So a lot of banks, actually, according to this article, stop giving out mortgages. And the ones they are giving out have extremely high interest rates. So is it going to come in Britain? Is it going to come in the U.S.? Probably not anytime soon. We may not see it for another year or so. Right, and hopefully if we do see a reduction of, let's say, homes being sold and homes being built and mortgages overall, we're not going to have another bubble situation like 2008. I just don't think we're there. Supply is still very low, and demand, even though it has been coming down, take a look at this. Manhattan apartment sales declined by 18% in the third quarter. It's still way higher than 2021 and way higher than 2022. So even though demand is coming down, we're nowhere near that popping bubble territory. All right, what else is going on? Credit Suisse to remain under pressure. Their credit default swaps are through the roof right now, as many people are buying them, thinking that Credit Suisse is going to go under, can't pay their liabilities, and their stock continues to tank. But people are saying they're not like Lehman. They're not like Bear Stearns. They have plenty of cash, plenty within their accounts. So they're not insolvent, but only time will tell. No one wants it to go down, but if they do, it's going to be major. So hopefully it doesn't happen. And then lastly, I saw this too. Foxconn, which is the supplier of basically all iPhone stuff, basically all Apple stuff. If you think about the iPad, the iWatch, iPhone, whatever else they have, it's all from Foxconn. It's an absolutely huge company. And Foxconn says they're positive for Q4. So this is another indication that the U.S. is not that broke yet, because people are still buying iPhone 14s like it's like candy or something. So Foxconn says their numbers are actually still very, very good because of demand on the iPhone 14 Pros and Pro Maxes. And these are the high-end models. And there's the market bell. So this is how you could tell that Americans are not that broke yet, because people continue to buy iPhone 14s like it's nothing, right? But Powell wants to change that. Powell wants this to stop, because if this many people can still afford to buy iPhone 14s, well, then they can certainly afford to buy food or pay for gas or pay their mortgages. But that's the fear, right? If he gets to a point where he raises rates so high and it stops demand and really makes people broke, then, there's going to be a lot more suffering because of it. But yeah, this is a good indication. It always boggles my mind how Apple could continue to sell so many iPhones every quarter, every year, even though the 14 and the 13 and the 12 are all basically the same damn thing. It's the same phone. How do you convince people to keep upgrading? That's their magic. That's why they're Apple. All right, now getting to McDonald's. McDonald's starts accepting Bitcoin and Tether in a little small Swiss town, Lugano. I think that's how you say it, right? And someone actually, Bitcoin Magazine, actually recorded a video of the whole process. So a lot of you guys know that McDonald's have these kiosks now, right? You go and you select and you say you want to pay with Bitcoin. Then you take that slip to the counter and they have a special little machine. You see right there, Bitcoin and Tether, right? And then you send that, you use that QR code and you send it, and boom, there you go. So that process seems to be pretty streamlined. I mean, it seems like they have done that for a while, right? So that's pretty darn good. So that means they're probably testing it out right now, right? And soon they're going to expand. And then soon it's going to be all over. I don't know how many restaurants McDonald's has, but it's a lot. Like probably over 100,000 restaurants worldwide. And soon you'll be able to buy your Big Mac and Happy Meals and McCafes with Bitcoin. Think about that. I wonder who they use though. I wonder if they use Strike or what. I don't know who's actually supporting these little gateways and what payment rails. Is that using Lightning Network or what? I need to do more research on it. But overall, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And who's next? Right? I don't know. But there's been rumors about the big tech giants coming in for quite a long time. This is a perfect time to be coming in and joining the revolution, right? Especially with all the shenanigans that's going on. And you know what? I saw this. Bitcoin Magazine also shared this, how some of the world's largest banks are asking the Bank of International Settlements to have 5% of the allocation in Bitcoin and crypto rather than a 1 suggested in June. And if so, that's $9 trillion. Just recently, I covered an article about how 19 banks were surveyed and how much crypto they have on hand. It added to 9.2 billion, and that's only 19 banks. How many are secretly holding right now, right? And this Bank of International Settlements, right? I guess it's controlled by a few central banks, and they make recommendations to world banks everywhere. And yeah, back in June, they said, you know what? Banks should keep about 1% of their reserves in Bitcoin. I didn't even know this. This is a big story. The fact that banks are told, yeah, you could go ahead and store 1% of your assets in Bitcoin. And now some of them are asking to increase that to 5% and soon to 10%. Think about it. These big boys are already buying up all the circulating supply, right? This is why all the metrics I show you guys about address going up, right? About the number of hodl Bitcoins going up, the number of Bitcoins leaving exchanges, where are they going? They're going into these big boys right here, right? They're all stocking up. This is why we all need to do the same thing and stock up while things are low, because these big boys are buying by the billions, okay? And one day we're going to wake up and realize there's just no more to be sold. All right, let's see here. What else? Yeah, here's a good, for those of you guys that are TA fans, this is showing Bitcoin breaking out of a trend line. It's been in this downward trend since November of last year. And now, if you zoom in very carefully, we have broken it. So that's pretty positive overall. The Bitcoin miners, they continue to hash and hash and hash away. That's why the hash rate for Bitcoin is at an all-time high. So the miners are not going away, and they're keeping all their mined Bitcoins. None of the new Bitcoins are hitting the market. They're all being stockpiled in wallets of these miners. So keep that in mind as well. And then the last two things I want to cover. Number one is the Biden administration urges speed up of crypto regulation as recession fears rise. I wonder why that is. Maybe because administration and all administrations out there realize that, hey, as things get worse and people start understanding about money and understanding how we got here and understanding how we pretty much effed up, they may be turning to something better. So maybe that's why they want to up their crypto regulation. They don't want everyone to just jump into Bitcoin and crypto all of a sudden. Maybe. And then also lastly, Tether. There's still a lot of controversy about whether or not they back all of their USDT with dollars. It's been revealed no. A lot of it with treasury bonds. 58.1% is in treasury bonds, which is, I guess, as good as cash. But the rest is other stuff like commercial notes and stuff, which is not nearly as good. So they're definitely not 100% in cash. Unlike USDC and then Paxos, BUSD, they are all backed 1-to-1 with cash. Not Tether, though. So I still remain cautious with Tether. All right. With that said, look at this. Bitcoin is above 20,000, above 20,100. So it's off to the races. And overall market cap up about 3%. Got a pretty good green day. It does seem like there's still a lot of fear because, excuse me, Bitcoin dominance is starting to go up a little bit, up to 40%. So normally speaking, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that means there's not a lot of buying of alts. Could be because people are still fearful, of course, rightfully so. But overall, we'll take it. We'll take it. And then the U.S. market is up 470 points. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's do some Q&A. Elsa says, I have all my pension funds with Credit Suisse that I'll need in 2 years. I hope that 40 years of work will not dissolve in the air. Pray to God. So Elsa, if you know that, why can't you move it to another bank right now? I'm gonna be honest. I'm assuming that your pension fund, I think they store I guess, yeah, they store all of it probably with Credit Suisse, right? So it's not so easy. You can't just move your individual account out. So I take that back. So I kind of answer my own question. So I hope that doesn't happen, but hopefully whoever is controlling your pension fund, maybe they're thinking about getting out of Credit Suisse right now, right? So hopefully that's the case. Let's see here. Pancakes and Peanut Butter says close to Fed peak rates. They will pause over the next 3 months. The world economy can't take much more. Well, if they're listening to UN and they do become more dovish, and let's say, I don't think they'll go pause, but they may slow down because it's baked in 75 basis points for the next 2 meetings. Maybe they go down 50 basis points just to kind of say, hey, we're helping, but we still have to help ourselves. I don't think they're going to just say stop. Well, like, okay, we're not going to raise rates. So that's probably what's going to happen, but we'll see. What are the chances of the Brooklyn Nets making the finals? Well, based on Ben Simmons' play from last night, 0. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think Nets are going to go anywhere. How do you like your coffee, black or light? I like black coffee, but very non-strong coffee because I drink coffee in the morning when I don't eat anything. And then I get too jittery if I have very strong coffee, so I have light black coffee. 1 to 4 hour BTC charts are oversold. Dip coming. Who knows? Yeah, when it's oversold, it can come down, right? But when you have good momentum, good news, it keeps driving things higher. So, and more importantly, 1 to 4 hours shorter time frame, the daily is still very low, and weekly is still low, and monthly is still low. So Fed will pivot. UK pivoted. Yeah, well, UK's pivoting doesn't look good for the new prime minister, that's for sure. When she just comes into office. I don't know if the US go pivot. Maybe. I mean, here's the bottom line. Powell's right about one thing. The labor market is still strong. Unemployment is still low. It has not gone up. In fact, unemployment, the jobless claims went down last week. Right? And that's what Powell's looking at. He's like, how broke is the U.S. people? And right now, it doesn't seem like it because everyone has a job, right? But when everyone starts losing their jobs and companies start going under, that's when he knows maybe that's when he needs to pull back. But right now, he could continue to raise rates because, generally speaking, most people are still doing just fine. So that's the thing. So I don't know if he's really going to pivot at all. Maybe UN called him up and is begging him to. And maybe he becomes a bit dovish, but outside that, I doubt it. I doubt he's going to change. Mighty Mustache Pumptober. I hope so. I hope so. What are your top 2 teams for the NBA? Honestly, I have not kept up with all the moves. I saw Lakers got blown out by the Kings yesterday. I think it's still preseason because these guys are not playing many minutes, but I don't know. I don't know who's the favorites now. Probably still Milwaukee and I don't know who else. I honestly have not kept up with all the trades and stuff. I'm hoping Zion comes back. Which project do you like more, Mana or Sandbox? Sandbox. John, appreciate it. GLDN. I have no idea what project that is. And you said the white paper gold retriever. I'm just going to say no. Because, yeah, that looks like a meme coin. And the white paper is fascinating. It doesn't really matter about the white paper. Got to root for skinny Luka. I mean, yeah, Dallas always seems like they just run out of gas in the playoffs. You know, Luka is he's just so drained. He can only do so much, right? And maybe with him getting into shape and being a little thinner, maybe they'll help. I mean, it helped Jokic a lot. Jokic was carrying a lot of weight, and then he got really skinny, and then he was MVP. Zach, eat to 40K by 2027. That's a little far out, man. I don't know. It could happen, but everything still has to be going for ETH. They have to figure out, obviously, by then, they have to figure out how to scale and have implemented some kind of scaling solution. And vast majority of projects are still on top of Ethereum. They have to figure out a way to do that. Hey, Samuel, big super chat. Appreciate it, Stan. Thank you. A burger. Nice. I could use that to go buy McDonald's. LWJ, hey, thanks for being a member. Come to Australia. I would like to go to Australia. I have nothing against Australia. It's just that it's so far away from me. I don't think I could take like a 14-hour flight to it. It's just too long. I don't want to be stuck in a plane for 14 hours. Why don't ADA pump while everything else does? ADA moves in mysterious ways. Sometimes it just doesn't move until it does, and then it goes up tremendously. Then it goes into a funk, and it just stops moving. I mean, they're up a little bit. Bora K. Someone else said that. I don't know, Tom. You said that before. I'll have to look into it. I am not aware Kareem Abdul-Jabbar called Kyrie Irving a buffoon. Okay. Random thought there. DeFi or NFT, which one has a better future? I think short term, DeFi definitely has a much better future. Long term, NFT is good. Because in the future, any kind of ticketing, collectible, property management, licensing could all be using NFTs. So I think long-term NFTs could have a bigger, I don't know, it will be more, I don't know how to say it, like more use cases than DeFi. I mean, DeFi will still grow, but I think NFTs are very overlooked right now simply because most of them don't have a lot of utility, but in the future they will. If the Fed stops rate hikes, is that possibly bad? No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be bad for inflation, though. It's going to be very bad for inflation because we still have not figured out how to increase productivity and supply. There still seems to be endless supply chain issues. It's getting better. Like, for example, Nike recently came out and said, we just got a surplus of shoes because they finally got their shipments of shoes, and now they're going to be dumping in the market. So stories like that indicate that, yeah, supply chain issues are getting better. They're starting to catch up, and naturally speaking, that's going to help bring inflation down. But we're not quite caught up yet. XRP has SEC in the ropes, just a matter of when XRP wins. I agree. If they win, it'll be good for the entire market. Philippines not ready for blockchain. SEC is so ignorant. I didn't know Philippines was so against blockchain. Max B. Kyrie's ass. He told Nash he didn't deserve MVP in front of the team. Yeah, Kyrie is an idiot, and he's a head case. That's why when rumors came out about how he may join the Lakers and join LeBron again, I'm like, I think that's a bad thing. He's too gone now. Like, he's really a head case. So I rather take Ben Simmons over having Kyrie on the team. Even though Kyrie will give you some good production numbers, but you can count on the fact that he's going to ruin team chemistry. He's going to be making excuses why he can't play every game and all this stuff. He's going to be a cancer to any team he's on. So, yeah. Any news on the ADA pool? Man, I've been talking with this company that's been helping me create it and supporting it, and they just have been dropping the ball. So I still want to run it, but I'm not sure I should run it with them, to be honest. So I may look for some other provider. Yeah, Brooklyn Nets is not going to be champions. Shaq also thought that Nash shouldn't be MVP. Should not have won MVP, mostly because Shaq thought he should have won. But you know what? He did win. Ned says, your live stream is making BTC and Polygon go up. Well, today's a good day, but I'll take credit for it. We're seeing the George effect happen right now, so that's good. And normally speaking, whenever I stream, Bitcoin does seem to do well. So I'll take credit for it. But today overall is a pretty good day. Where do you store your seed phrase? I'm not going to tell you where I store it. I just memorize it. Polygon to $100 in the next bull run. I don't know, man. $100. That'll push them up to 700 billion. So can it happen? Yeah. In the unlikely off chance it could happen, but it's unlikely. Not anytime soon. They would have to become as big as Ethereum at that point. Buy gold or silver right now? What is gold? Let's look at gold's price. Hey, gold came up a little bit, 1,700, but still lower than where it was back in 2013, 9-10 years ago. And gold and silver still lower than 2013. So, yeah, it hasn't been fun. It hasn't been fun holding on to gold, that's for sure. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall today, pretty good day. Markets, U.S. markets rallying, Bitcoin and cryptos rallying, and we have fast food giant McDonald's now accepting Bitcoin in Switzerland. So if you're in Switzerland, go ahead and buy a Big Mac with your Bitcoin or Tether. But it's just the beginning. More and more retailers will come in and accept, and more big giants will start to buy, and banks already started. So don't miss out on this revolution. Okay? So smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.